Hello there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, and wellness advocate, and today's topic is human trafficking can happen to you. And so nobody is exempt from human trafficking, whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're young or old, nobody is exempt. And we have to understand that this is something that is skyrocketing across our world, and yet it's really not discussed. I don't really find a whole lot of people talking about it on social media. It's not something that comes up over coffee and conversation with our friends, and I really don't hear about it much on the news either. And so I really believe this is something we need to build awareness, and so today I'm going to chat about it and share some human trafficking prevention tips, especially for females, but of course, also, this could be greatly helpful and beneficial for every gender. According to the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, human trafficking is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons. Basically, in layman's term, it's modern slavery. Human trafficking is slavery. It does include physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Typically, sex trafficking is linked to drug trafficking, prostitution, and so forth. Next, we have to also understand that 80% of human trafficking is females, young and old, which means that 20% is males. Very interesting. When I did research, I wanted to know what are the top states in the United States for human trafficking. So according to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center, here's the list, and we're going to start with number 1 and work our way through number 12. Number 1, California. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Florida. Number 4, Ohio. Number 5 is New York. Number 6 is Georgia. Number 7 is Michigan, followed by North Carolina. Number 9 is Pennsylvania. Number 10 is Illinois. Number 11 is Nevada. Number 12 is New Jersey. And so these are the top 12 states that have the highest rates of human trafficking. And of course, if you live in another state that I didn't mention, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in your neck of the woods. It just means that those other 12 states, it might have a higher statistics. Let's also understand that the average age of this human trafficking is from 12 years old to 14 years old. That's the highest age in the sex trade industry. Human trafficking generates a profit of $150 billion each year. It's big business. Sex sells. Drugs sell. And when you get those two together, drugs and sex, big business, high profits. We must also consider that sporting events are linked to human trafficking. It is pathetic, it is absolutely heartbreaking, but it is a fact that places such as the Super Bowl are directly linked to high potential for human trafficking. So if you, by chance you are at a sporting event and you see something suspicious, bring it to the attention of the authorities. Number 2, we're going to go into actually the tips. So I'm going to move forward and we're going to talk about some tips, and this is based on real life happenings. So this is based on things that have happened within our world, especially the United States, and real situations, real people with human trafficking. And so this is like a big FYI, red flag, warning, take heed. And please benefit from this by building your own awareness. So number 1, if you are going into a place to go shopping, Never park way in the back if you could prevent it. Obviously, there are going to be times, especially near the holidays, where the malls and the grocery stores are swamped and it's really hard to find a parking spot. But it is in your best interest to park as close as possible to the front entrance or any form of entrance. It's those people who are parked way in the back that are more vulnerable to being grabbed and forced into a vehicle in a human trafficking situation. Next, this is extremely disturbing because it's definitely in our neighborhoods, but some of the prime places where human trafficking are occurring include Walmart, Target, local malls, restaurants, parking lots, grocery stores, and anywhere you could find young girls, teenagers, and women. Yes, see, the people who are perpetrators, they know where females go, especially, when we're focusing more on the female gender. They know where young girls hang out, that they're socializing at the local mall or different shopping centers, parks, what have you. And so that's where they'll be. They will be where they could find women and children and females and even males. So be on the red alert when you're going shopping. That is a prime area where human trafficking does happen. Next, we have to understand that when you are shopping, so whether it's grocery shopping, you need to pick something up at the local mall, you're running into Target or Walmart, what have you, it's in your best interest to not always pick the night, because the night will make you a more vulnerable candidate for human trafficking. So keep in mind, if there's any way you could choose daylight, early hours, and park close to the entrance, that would be super advantageous for you. But I want to give a little disclaimer here. That doesn't mean you're exempt, because there's plenty of video footage of real life human trafficking scenarios. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place as far as YouTube and other helpful resources and websites that have some common sense and real life scenarios of human trafficking, that even daylight, I'll be quite frank, that these predators are extremely aggressive. They're very bold. They don't care if it's daylight. Yes, nighttime might be a better situation for them. They won't be seen as well because it's dark. It'll be hard for someone to see their license plate and so forth. But daylight is still something that's going on in the world where human trafficking is happening in the broad daylight, smack in front of Target. I've seen it on a video. It was video footage of a real life scenario going down at the front entrance of Target, where there was a van. It pulls up. They see a woman who's at her car. She wanted to obviously go in and shop at Target. She didn't even get to. No, two guys jumped out of the van. They grabbed her, dragged her to the ground. They're basically wrestling. She's fighting, screaming for her life. Two other people hop out of the van to help the other two get the woman forced into the van, and they take off. The most horrendous thing that was in this video footage is this. There were onlookers, observers, people who were walking out of Target who saw this whole thing coming down. They saw with their own eyes that there was a woman who was being taken hostage and forced into a van. Number one, they didn't do anything. Number two, they didn't take a picture. Hey, get the license plate. Take a picture of the culprits. Do something. Call 911. I can't for the life of me fathom why the onlookers didn't take action, even if it meant going into the safety of the Target store and calling 911 or talking to someone, doing something. But it appeared that nobody really did anything. They were just observing, and so that is pathetic. People, if you see something suspicious, please get on the phone, take pictures, do what you have to do, videotape it. The worst that can happen is that it was not an actual human trafficking scenario, in which, hey, no big deal. But if it was, this is evidence that the officials need. The police officers, they need this evidence. So keep that in mind next time something seems a bit suspicious or you definitely think that someone's in trouble. Please look out for other people and help them. Next is, okay, we're going to talk about windshield wipers. Why? Because there's a tactic going on, and if you're not aware, you need to build awareness in case this would happen to you or your family. So let's just say that you are at your shopping mall. You had to go pick something up and what have you, and you're walking back in the parking lot to your vehicle when you notice that something's wrong with your windshield wipers. Maybe they're twisted with fabric or rope, and you could see that someone was messing with your car and windshield wipers. Number one, that's a red flag that you need to immediately either A, get out of that area, or B, hurry up, get in your car and get the heck out of there. Okay, so the situation is, though, that typically that tactic with the windshield wipers is used in the winter when there's ice and snow on the car because you can't see. They know you can't see. They're trying to get you in a vulnerable situation, people, in which they know if it's raining or snowing and ice, they know what they're doing and they're trying to find a vulnerable moment to grab you. So instead of messing around and trying to get your windshield wipers untied, don't. Save yourself. Instead, either A, get out of there, B, get in your car and lock the door and drive off, call 911, do what you need to do to protect yourself. Don't fall for that scheme. Number two, or actually skip the numbers, let's just move on. I don't even know what number I'm on. If you were at Walmart, Target, a mall, the grocery store, somewhere, you're shopping, you're walking around, and you notice that someone's watching you. It could be a male, it could be a female. They could be young, they could be old. Be open-minded about that. There's no particular person, there's no specific ethnic group either. It's everyone, okay? Everyone's suspicious at this point. But if you notice that someone's watching you and then they're following you, so you're kind of going in and out of different stores, just kind of in the back of your mind to make sure, like, are they really watching me? Are they really following me? But then, no matter where you're at, they're there. They're lurking, waiting for you, waiting for that prime moment to grab you. Be cautious. Either A, call 911, B, go to like the front desk of a Target or whatever shopping store you're at. Do what you can to alert the officials that there is someone following you and watching you and you suspect a possibility of human trafficking and you need to be safe and you need someone to come to your defense immediately. Don't take it lightly, people. If your gut instinct says that something's wrong, good chance something's wrong. My gut intuition has never steered me wrong. Not once. Onward. Let's say that you're either on foot, so maybe you're at a park, maybe you're in your neighborhood taking a walk, or maybe you're driving. Regardless, if you're on foot or driving, if you notice that someone's following you, that's again another red flag. So the most important thing is don't walk or drive home. You don't want this predator to know where you live. They don't need to know your address. Number two, if you have a cell phone, get help. Again, call someone, call 911. Do what you can to make it a safe situation and protect yourself. If you're in a position where you are driving, you know they're following you. Like it's just going on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You're here, you're there, you're at red lights, you're at green lights, you're doing everything you can, and these people are following you, and you know it's just not coincidental that they happen to be driving where you're driving. Then you need to consider maybe driving to the police station or driving somewhere where there's a lot of people. See, and if you're in a situation where someone's following you, you need to be near a lot of people in a social area where there's the public and a lot of light. You need to do what you have to do, but again, keep safe. Another thing is use caution if you do online dating. Use caution and never meet someone new at a private place. So these are some tips. Feel free to share your own stories. And if you want inspiration and encouragement, go to DanaArcuri.com.